Ladies and guys who like to explore her hidden dungeon, Andy here, day 225 of the Inner Winner Show. And grab your condoms, boys, because we're about to go balls deep on the truth right here. How's that for an intro? Fucking amazing. I'm joined by Imogen. She has recently upgraded to head ho. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that title? Did you know you're my main girl?
I'm aware, yeah.
How are you aware of that? I haven't officially told you that. How do you know that?
I mean, we live together, for one.
So what? That means nothing. We could be roommates. Anyway, so today, we're going to talk about why I advocate honesty. In other words, why the truth is important.
Yep.
And I could just say because telling the truth is a virtue, or because it's the right thing to do. But I'm not going to moralize to you guys. I think that's fucking ridiculous. You guys are adults. I'll never moralize to you and say, this is the right way to live your life, or this is the right thing to do. Other people will do that. I know you sometimes do that, but that's just not really my style.
What?
You do that all the time. You're like, it's the right thing to do. I never talk like that. You're all adults. You can make your own decisions. I would, however, like to go deeper on this. Mm-hmm. And talk about, we're just going to brainstorm. This is going to be a fairly chilled episode, even though I threw a condom at you guys. Sorry about that.
I feel like this is a less sex episode. I feel like the condoms probably.
This is not sex. I'm saying you need to wear a condom because we're about to go deep on the truth.
Yeah,
that was a good intro. That was amazing. So
I got the joke.
Look at this beautiful llama with his like leash here. If you're listening to the podcast, go onto YouTube. This is also a video. You get my like slapstick comedy.
Is it slapstick?
Not slapstick. That's what slapstick actually comes from, because what happened was Charlie Chaplin invented slapstick comedy because
this is a great history lesson.
Someone slapped his stick and he giggled because he liked it, because he's a bit of a masochist like that. So anyway, we're just going to brainstorm. Fairly chilled episode. Keep it on point. Remain serious. It's a very serious topic. Honesty is a very serious topic. I would like less levity and more brevity. So, why is the truth so damn important? We had a discussion about this, you and I, a few days ago. That's where the episode idea came from. And we were trying to come up with ideas. Because for context, another guy that I follow, a journalist, he was doing like an interview. His name is Duncan Shields. He goes by the YouTube channel Thorin. And he was doing an interview with another guy who, these two guys very much value the truth. And so they were basically saying, why has honesty been so important to both of us? Like, why do we care about honesty? And they were kind of spitballing, brainstorming some ideas. You and I came up with, we're going to talk about one idea that they said, but we have our own ideas. And the first one that we came to, because we were trying to decide, is there something inherently wrong or bad? I don't like those terms, but those are the closest that my monkey brain can come up, the best that my monkey brain can come up with. Is there something bad with like telling a lie? And in our gut, we were like, yes. And I was like, that doesn't satisfy me. Why? We can't just say like, oh, it feels wrong. I want a logical reason why.
Yeah. And so we each ended up coming to like answers that we then told
different
each
answers
other.
That were pretty close.
Yeah.
So what was your answer?
My answer was that you're
I liked your answer.
Denying reality.
Yes.
That by lying and spreading misinformation, I guess my logic was that reality is the only thing that like grounds us in our existence.
Yes, and despite what socialists and people like that would tell you,
we base everything off like, I know that I am Imogen, that I wake up in the morning and I live in Brisbane and that the sky is blue and... Yeah,
objective reality absolutely matters. Because without it, you're not grounded. Like, nothing matters. If you don't have reality, like, then nothing matters. It's all chaos. Yeah. Why don't we all just kill ourselves? Like, there's nothing to ground to. There's no lighthouse to guide you, I guess. Yeah. There's nothing that you can, like, stow your ship against. That's not the right word, but, like, tie your ship to and know that you will always be grounded. Like, everything's tipsy-turvy, upsy-downy. And I came up with the idea of So that was your idea, and I really like your phrasing of why honesty is important. Mine was, okay, if you think lying isn't that bad, because a lot of people are comfortable lying, manipulating, lying, you know, I'm not talking about tiny little lies. Like we all kind of do little baby lies. I'm talking about like big lies. Like you lie to a girl, she says, "Where is this going?" And you just say like, "Oh, I really like you. I'm really into you. I'd love to be a boyfriend, girlfriend one day. Let's keep it going." When you have no intention of ever doing that, that's the kind of lies I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Or she says, "Where is this going?" And you just change the subject. I count that as lying too. I say, here's my response to those people who say like it's not that bad, you know, lying's okay, everybody lies. Like that's usually what liars will say. They'll say everybody lies. I say, okay, if lying isn't that bad, I'm going to get all of your friends and all of your family to lie to you about everything for a month. Let's see how you handle it. You will lose your fucking mind. Are you serious? As you said, and this is why our answers tied in pretty nicely to each other, you will lose your like tethering to reality. If everybody in your life starts lying to you, nothing is real. You can't rely on anything. Nothing makes sense. You can't sort fact from fiction. You have no idea, like, are they all lying to me? Are they telling me the truth? Can I trust anyone? You can't trust anyone. Like, reality just kind of, like, fades away, and you literally start going insane. That's why schizophrenic people, like, really, really, really badly schizophrenic people, lose their fucking mind, because they can't tell. Same with paranoid, delusional people. They lose their grip on reality because they can't tell what's real and what's not. They can't tell who's lying to them, who's not. Like, honesty is fucking important so that you don't lose your mind. And again, like, if you're okay with lying, fine. Let me get everyone in your life to lie to you for a month. See how you like it. You will absolutely... I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy because you will lose your mind.
Yeah, and to simplify it, because what you first said, it was literally just that, like, nobody likes being lied to. Like, if it's...
Yeah. If it's no big deal, how come no one likes it?
Yeah, you're not going to be happy that somebody lied to you, and then you're going to do that same thing to another person. It's that I learned it in year 1 when I was like 6 years old. That, like, treat other people the way you want to be treated. Like,
yeah. Because if you don't, it's all a race to the bottom. Some people say like, oh, but you know, whatever, we all got to be selfish. And I'm all for selfishness, of course. But we're talking about negative selfishness, like to the detriment of others. Lying, hurting, manipulating, that kind of stuff. I would never advocate that. Why don't we do that? Because then it would be a race to the bottom. If we all treat each other like shit, that's a race to the bottom. We're not building anything. We're not going anywhere. We're all going to the bottom. It only ends in misery and suffering. It literally ends in like fucking 10 million people dead, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's benefit to building other people up. And particularly when
For sure.
This is somebody that you're having sex with, it's somebody in your life, why would you want that person to be miserable? Why would you want there to be guilt associated with your relationship with that person?
Yeah.
I think
your body gives you a feedback, and your body gives you a feedback loop. Or there's a feedback loop where it says like, this doesn't feel good when you're lying. Your body's telling you it doesn't feel good.
Unless you're like a psychopath, like nobody enjoys lying.
Fine,
like,
that's different. This
like,
podcast isn't really for psychopaths.
Yeah, it feels...
If you're a psychopath, please stop watching. I understand that, like, I can't make you, but I'd like you not to.
Gross and uncomfortable when you lie.
I
think you also said, and I think that this point was made by that other journalist, that it's just a lot of effort to lie because you have to keep track of your own lies.
Yeah, that was a big part of that. That's usually the number one thing that people go to when they say, why shouldn't you lie? It's like, because it's more drama. You got to like keep track of everything you said. You got to keep it in your head. Remember what lies you told to people at what time. If you have the truth, all you have to remember is like, what's the truth? Now, sometimes you can't remember the truth. Fine. Like if I try and go back like 5 years and tell you guys a story of a girl I slept with, luckily I've written most of them down, but like sometimes there will be details that are a little foggy. Like if I go back 10 years and try and remember what happened 10 years ago, yeah, like that's normal. But like when you say that, you say like, you even heard me say it at the start of this episode. The previous episode where you said like, when did you first start going to the gym? And I was like 26, maybe 27, maybe 28. It was like as long as you leave leeway for that, you know, we're not talking about that shit. But there's also the idea that you feel gaslit. This is very much ties into your answer. You're denying reality if you lie. If other people lie to you, you feel very gaslit. Like, am I the crazy one? Nobody likes that feeling. That is not a good feeling. Again, it's a race to the bottom. And none of this is necessary. Like, the people who will advocate lying or being dishonest or manipulation, they will tell you it has to be done. You especially see this in getting laid. In getting laid communities, in the manosphere. stuff like that. Guys will say, like, you got to lie to women, pick up artists say it a lot, you got to use tricks, you got to neg women, you got to do all this kind of stuff. It's just the game. It's what you got to do. And it's like, have you ever tried the alternative? Have you ever tried not doing that? You're so stuck on this premise that lying or manipulating is mandatory. That's the world's worst study ever because you didn't run a control group. You fucking retard. You didn't try not doing that. How can you possibly say this is mandatory when, like, that's all you've ever done? Like, run the study for as long as you have run the lying study. Run the study for a year. Be honest because when you first start being honest, you might be a little rusty at it. You can't try being honest with one woman and she doesn't handle it well because you did a bad job because you're new. And then you say, see, it doesn't work. Run the study for a year. Be honest with every girl that you interact with, every person you interact with, as much as you possibly can. I know that it's something you need to build up to. You won't just be perfectly honest. I wasn't. It took time. It took practice. But run that study, see how that goes. And every time I get some guy to do it, most of the people who follow my shit are on board with honesty. But when I get them to try it, how many times do they come back and they're like, oh my God, this was like amazing. Like, I can't believe it. We had a great time. Like, she fucked my brains out. I fucked her brains out. Like, it was amazing. She's so much more into me now that I've started being honest. Or, like, we hashed out this issue we had. I can't believe that honesty works this well. Like,
yeah, I think it's also, like, another, if we're listing or brainstorming the negatives, I don't think it's good for maybe your self-esteem or your psyche to tell yourself that in order for me to keep people in my life, like, in order for people to want to have sex with me, I need to lie to them.
Yeah, I have to keep this mask up, and the second it comes down and the truth comes out, they're all going to fucking leave me or they don't like me.
Yeah.
You can't ever be you.
Yeah, it's just almost as if, like, the reality of the situation, like, if things, I don't know, like, if you're honest with yourself, you're not good enough for people to want to have sex with you just as is. You have to, like, invent something or lie about something.
Hide the truth,
Yeah, which basically means that, like, the real me or whatever you want to call it is, like, unlovable or undesirable. Yeah.
I guess we can, like, pull the Hail Mary. I never really pull this Hail Mary. I think I probably should more. The moderator on my forum, Radical, shout-outs to Radical, I love you, man. Like, he's mentioned this a couple times in the past, that I should be using this trump card more often. I don't know why, but it feels intellectually lazy for me. I'll use it and you tell me what you think. It feels intellectually lazy from me, but he has a really good point. This is my trump card. I don't know why I don't use it more. I think it's like it feels like an appeal to authority, and I don't like that. That can be a fallacy when you just say, I'm the expert, so listen to everything I say. I don't like to use that because experts do a horrible job, especially if you look in politicians and shit like that. Experts. But here's my Hail Mary. You guys know I get laid. Go look on my website, go on to killyourinnerloser.com, go look at the proof I get laid. There's like 100 and fucking something stories on there at this point in time with pictures, with videos, with like all the proof you could possibly want. I get laid by being honest. I win. So all the people who say, oh, but you gotta lie, it's like, well, I ruined that study for you, didn't I? Here's your counter evidence. You only need one big piece of counter evidence to completely dismiss your entire study. I have I have 800 on that website. How many threesomes at this point? How many girls have we had sex with in threesomes? Like 23.
I don't know. You're the one counting.
Honest with as much as I possibly can be with all of them. Like, sure, white lies here and there. I try and minimize that. I think everyone lies to some extent. But, like, that's the proof. Like, I win. Not that it's a competition, but, like, anyone who wants to come up against me and say, again, this isn't a war, but, like, anyone who wants to posit and say... You know, well, no, I think you need to be dishonest with women. I think a bit of manipulation is normal. I think it benefits. It's like, explain me then. Oh, well, it's because of... now you're moving the goalpost, so I win. You're unfalsifiable now, using the unfalsifiable fallacy. Are you just going to come up with reasons why my evidence doesn't count and yours does? Fine, I'll come up with reasons why yours doesn't count.
You can invalidate everything with, like...
yeah, for sure.
Arbitrary arguments.
And one more thing I do want to say is, when you lie... to people, when you lie to women that you sleep with in order to have sex with them, do you respect this is a really good Hail Mary. I really like this one. This is like a smoking gun as well. A couple of these are really good smoking guns. But when you lie to someone and they believe your lie, or you kind of know they don't believe your lie, but they're just too shy to say anything, or too submissive, or too agreeable, or they're just non-confrontational. I'm pretty non-confrontational. I know when someone's lying to me, I just leave. I'm not going to confront you, but I'm never going to deal with you ever again. But when someone accepts your lie, or they don't call you out on it, maybe they know you're lying, but they don't call you out on it. Like, I wouldn't call you out on it, but I know you're lying. Do you respect that person that you've just lied to that's either accepted your lie, which means that they're stupid or naive, or that you're better than them? That is the implication. That is how you will feel. Or if you know that they kind of know you're full of shit, but they don't say it, now you think they're cowardly, weak, pathetic, and maybe unintelligent and not as brave as you, like you're the better person. You're definitely in the position of like, I'm better. If someone accepted my lie, even pickup artists and stuff, and I know not all pickup artists lie and stuff like that, but I'm specifically talking about the ones that do, that use manipulation, that talk about like running game on girls and negging her and shit tests and all that kind of stuff. The manipulation ones. I know not every pickup artist does that. I'm talking about the ones that do. You don't respect that person. You can't respect that person. They just accepted your lie. They're an idiot at best, cowardly at worst. So now you are telling yourself something very dangerous to your own psyche. If you have sex with that person or you continue to interact with that person, one of my friends pointed this out to me. This was when I was in the red pill stuff. You know who I'm talking about, the guy who values honesty above all else. When I was deep in the red pill shit and I was like manipulating women, he said, what you are teaching yourself, this is dangerous to your psyche. Forget the girls. You're being an asshole to them, but this is dangerous to your psyche. You are telling yourself that you deserve to spend time, you only deserve to spend time with people that you don't respect. And he said, what does that say about you, Andy? And I was like, oh my fucking God, that means I don't respect myself. And that was like a huge turning point for me when he said that. He had a couple of other turning points for me, but that was one of the biggest ones where I was like, oh my God, you're right. If I insult girls, if I neg them, if I play games, if I lie to them, I'm telling myself that I don't respect myself. I can only get girls if I lie to them. That's not worthy of respect. Lying is cheating. In a way, it's cheating. Because a lot of the time, the person isn't going to call you out on their lie because you have social etiquette on your side. People won't call you out because, it's socially unacceptable to do that. Yeah. Most people aren't confrontational. I'm not confrontational. So you're kind of cheating. By doing this lie, it's like you're being a snake. Everyone kind of knows you're doing it, but no one's going to... People are less likely to call you out on it. You're kind of cheating. It's cowardly on your part. Lying is cowardly on your part, but you're teaching yourself that you don't deserve to spend your time with people that you respect. Whereas if you're honest with people and girls stick around, it makes you feel better. She respects you. You respect her.
Yeah, I think there's just so many benefits to the opposite as well, because we've talked a lot on the negatives about why being dishonest is shitty, and I think the alternative of there are a lot of positives to being.
There are a million.
Honest. I think that it just means that the other person is so much more open with you. Like when you're honest, you get that back. People tend to reflect, not 100% of the time, but people will tend to reflect.
Most people will most of the time, yeah. Yeah, some people won't. That's fine. They're the minority. They're like the 1 in 20.
And when people are more open and comfortable, it means that the interactions are more fun and carefree. You can let go with the other person when you can trust that they're not going to lie to you. And
they will let go with you.
Yeah, you can open up more. You can be more intimate, whether that's emotionally or just sexually.
You don't have to have your guard up.
Yeah, you can relax. Everyone can relax. It's just
Yeah, and the sex is a million times... I know you touched on that. But
yeah.
Sex is 10 million times better if she knows you're not fucking lying to her. Because then she's like, oh, I can trust this motherfucker. I'll tell him my kinkiest secrets. I'll try the weird kinky shit that he wants because I know he won't judge me.
Yeah, it just means... I mean, it's your go-to phrase, but everyone's on the same team.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're honest, you're all on the same page. You're all working towards the same goal, which even if that goal is just let's have a good experience in the bedroom. Let's all blow each other's minds and suck each other's dicks. I know most girls don't have a dick, but shout outs to any girls that do have a dick. I respect that.
I do think that... I don't know, there's just a lot to be... gain. There's not a lot to lose from being honest either.
You risk possible rejection, fine, but you risk rejection from lying. I think that's the thing. You get rejected way more if you lie. Jesus Christ. The worst that happens if you're honest is some girl or someone can't match your honesty, or they use it against you. They try and, manipulate you, and then you go, cool, that person never gets to be in my life ever again.
Why would you want that person around anyway? Like,
Yeah,
is it
sure.
worth hanging on to that person if, like, they're a dishonest person?
Fuck no. I guess one more negative we can talk about is you start projecting. If you lie to everyone, what do cheaters say? They say, are you cheating on me?
That's like
what do liars say? You're lying to me.
Yeah.
People project all the time. Why are you lying to me? And the person's like, I'm not lying to you. Wait, are you lying to me? And they're like, I'm not lying, you're lying. And it's like, you got a guilty conscience there. Like, that's a very well-known phenomenon. If you lie to everyone, you are acutely aware, very strongly aware of your own lies and your own dishonesty and the tricks that you use when you're not telling them the truth. And then you go looking for it because you're like, I know every time I'm a fucking asshole, they must be doing the same shit to me. Even when they're not, you're like paranoid about it. And then funnily enough, that behavior scares off all the honest people who already would have left anyway because you're dishonest. Why would they like you? Why would they respect you? It's a shitty tactic. You're left with only the people who play games that you're playing. And so now you do... It's like self-reinforcing. All the liars are together in a room going, you're lying, no, you're lying. And it's like they are all literally lying to each other. That's why politicians play that game. You'll notice politicians don't get up there and have a single nice thing to say about the other person. It's all horrible, evil shit, very destructive. It's been like that for probably since the beginning of time. I don't know. Maybe back in the Roman days they were positive, but like they don't have a single nice thing to say. It's because they're projecting. They know every time they say the other person's an asshole, it's because like they know that they are. Like, they know all the fucked up stuff they did to get to that position, all the fucked up stuff they'll do when they climb even higher. And so they're going to say, you're doing evil shit. You're Hitler. And it's like, bro, are you Hitler? We're all Hitler here. Like, it's a race to the bottom. So those are some of the reasons why honesty is important and why not lying is important. Why lying... Where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere.
Sit your ass down, boy.
I'm not going anywhere.
Look at you getting all angsty. You guys can't see. We've got to put a second camera. We will again. We did it on a previous episode. We'll have a second camera so guys can see you. They can probably like... Don't jack off to my girlfriend, you sick fucks. Not. Jack off to me. Jack off to Llama here. Anyway. Yeah. Enthusiasm is another one. When you're honest... Can you sit down? Your anxiety is like...
What? You
look like you're ready to go. I can't relax. Can you please relax yourself, woman?
That was my comfortable
chill.
pose.
You got no chill. Your chill is at 0. I need you to dial it up to like a 7 or an 8. Your chill's at 0 right now.
I'm less comfortable than I was.
I don't care if you're comfortable. I'm not comfortable in the shitty white chair, but I do what needs to be done. Don't we, Llama?
Can you hear it? Like
my chair, yeah, for sure.
The audio, probably.
So, final point. Girls will be more enthusiastic if you're honest and real with them. Yep. And again, honesty is something that you work up to. I'll leave a link in the show notes to an article I wrote called Honesty is an Ideal that you work towards. And the whole point of this article is I'm saying, like, I don't expect you guys, if you're not confident with women, if you're starting from the beginning, I don't expect you to just go out and immediately be completely honest with every girl that you ever meet. I understand there's a lot of, like, anxiety around that. Like, what if she rejects me? Like, I don't know how to be honest. I've never done it before. I'm not telling you, like, step outside and just be 100% honest, bro.
Even habitually, you'll just lie.
You'll do little lies, and then afterwards...
Like, why did I lie about that?
I did that the whole time, and that's what I talk about in this article. So I'll leave a link in the description to this article. Go read it. It's like a how-to guide. It talks you through how I became more honest, and it's also a how-to guide on how you guys can as well. Because exactly like you're saying, I would tell lies to girls. This was when I was trying to be honest. I'd tell a lie, and then afterwards I'd be like, fuck, why did I do that? What's wrong with me? And so then the next time I saw her, I'd be like, hey, I'm sorry, I told a lie, like, hear it. And over time, like, and most girls were like, that's okay, I appreciate you being honest. Over time, like, you get better at telling the truth. It is a skill that you practice. I'm not telling you to go out and be like an honorable, honest person. Like, you can't just be that. It's like the mainstream advice where they say, like, always be, you just got to be confident. It's like, what actionable step do I take to just be confident? And the same thing here. What actionable step do I take to just be honest? Go read that article. That's your actionable step. Start with that. That's your step. Start there. That tells you everything you have to do. And it's something you'll build up. You get better with practice. And what you find is, like, relationships are a million times better. Honesty is something that I'm going to be talking about probably for the rest of my life. Even if you want to be Mr. Selfish and say, like, well, what's in it for me? It's like better sex. There you go. Better sex, more intimacy, more trust.
Less stress, less
drama, less arguments, like almost no arguments. You now have to be paranoid that she's lying to you as well. She will be more enthusiastic. She'll be more affectionate. It's very hard to be affectionate with someone that you know is lying to you or you suspect may be lying to you. That's why a lot of people are closed off.
Yeah, you hold back something.
You have to hold back. Why would you be honest? Why would you go all in and be vulnerable with the person you think is lying to you? Or a better way of phrasing it is the person who hasn't opened up to you. Because it's not about just not lying. You do, again, go read this article. It is also about opening up and like telling some truths and saying like, hey, like I'll be real with you. And then you tell her that like, you know, hey, I just want to be real with you. Like, by the way, I'm sleeping with other girls. Like, I hope that's cool with you. If it's not, let me know. And like, you know, we don't have to keep seeing each other, but I just thought I'd be real with you. Like that's, you have to like also give information, like volunteer information. That's a big part of honesty. Mm-hmm. Like we did that the other day with the
one of the girls that we're seeing.
Yeah, I was like, hey, by the way, we're seeing other girls. Like,
but we like you.
Yeah. We told her about like there's like a bunch of stuff like that where it's like you volunteer the information and then the person's like, oh, that's cool of you. And then they'll give you some information back. And that's how you start an honest communication. You do have to volunteer. It's not about just not lying. It's also like sharing some shit. Even like little bits and pieces. Like if you're having a fucking bad day or something, you have to dump all your problems. But like maybe you had a bad day earlier in the week and you're just like, oh man, like, you know, I got to tell you about like Tuesday. Tuesday sucked ass. Like I was super fucking down on Tuesday. I just like laid around the house. I like binge ate. I drank too much. Like it was such a shit day. But like Wednesday, like I got back into it. I went to the gym. Like it was cool. Like stuff like that. Just like sharing little snippets. Just opening up. We're talking about opening up here. Like, yeah. You know, I think you guys all know how to do that. Again, you don't have to like blurt it all out. Yeah. It's a process of learning. And especially with a girl that you're seeing. Some of you guys may have recently gotten a girlfriend or you're thinking about it or whatever. Maybe you're sleeping with a few girls, whatever it is. Like you slowly open up over time. Like especially you guys who haven't been in a lot of relationships. It's something that you learn. Like you had to learn it with me because you'd never been in a relationship before until we met.
Yeah, I was incredibly closed off to begin with.
Yeah, and like you have to learn to open up. Like you learn how it works. You learn what's healthy to share, how to share it in a healthy way. Yeah, You'll make some mistakes at the start. That's fine. Like,
yeah, and you get more comfortable with it.
Yeah. And girls won't expect you to be perfect. Like, I think we'll make that clear. Because they're not perfect. Like, this is one of the, like, funny things that comes up. I've talked about this before, but, like, each gender is so, like, myopically focused on themselves. And I don't mean this in to criticize, but, like, guys are so acutely aware of their own insecurities. Of course you are. You're in your own body. You know, your own insecurities and stuff. Sometimes, and girls do the same thing. And the genders, like, forget to look at the other person and say, like, I bet they're insecure, too.
Yeah, it's not a male-female thing. It's like a people thing.
Yeah, for sure.
We forget other people are insecure because you're focused on your own. You're the main character, and
and so you're sitting there thinking as a guy, like, damn, like, how do I be honest? How do I open up? She's thinking the same shit. So you know, you don't have to be perfect with this stuff. Mm-hmm. I think the best way to start is just don't tell lies. That's probably the best part. If you find yourself, I guess, if you're a compulsive liar, we got to wrap it up because this will cut out in a minute, but. If you're a compulsive liar right now and you're wanting to change yourself, start with that article I wrote called Honesty is an Ideal You Work Towards. And then just start like slowly chipping away at the lies. Like maybe every time you go to say a lie, take a deep breath and say like, do I have to say this lie? Maybe I can like say half of this lie. Or just not say, just keep my mouth closed. Start with that. Start like chipping away at the lies. Over time, you'll tell less lies and then start volunteering some truths. This is a process. There's a learning experience. It's a habit. Think of telling the truth as a habit. It's something that you build. It's not something you are. People go like, oh, you're an honest person. It's like, no, you're not. You just have a habit of honesty. So I want to make that really clear to finish off with. It's something that you do, not something that you are. Honesty is a habit. Shout outs to my Patreon in the last 10 seconds before this cuts out. Go to patreon.com/killyourinnerloser and support me. I love you very much. That was a lie. I don't love you guys, but I appreciate you guys. I love my audience, actually. That's not true. I do love my audience. Not like in a, sexual way.
Thank you for clarifying. I was worried.
I love my llama, though.